Hi, this is YC and welcome to my channel. And today I'm in my dining room. I'm sitting down and enjoying my coffee, and I would like to do a couple of tags. I have been officially tagged by Life with Mike, our good friend in Tennessee, and he's given me a couple tag questionnaires, and I just kept putting them off and putting them off, and I want to do them. I've been wanting to do them. I've just been so busy. So I am going to do that right now, and it should be somewhat fun, and some of them are serious, but it helps us know that the times that we're in, and that everyone's on the same page, and we're all going through the same things and stuff like that. So the first one is on the coronavirus pandemic, and let's see. Okay, so this one is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 10 questions, and the first question is, are you having anxiety from being inside so much? Not so much, not really, because normally I am a homebody, so it doesn't really bother me. I know I can just go for a drive, and I like to sit out in the backyard on my swing and get outside with the dog and things like that. So I'm okay for right now. It does give you that closed-in kind of claustrophobic feeling, though, when the government says, it's locked down, don't go anywhere. It kind of gives you that feeling, doesn't it? Okay, so question 2, have you been able to find supplies you need at your local stores? For the most part. We all know the deal with paper products, that's hard to find, and the meats, you have to pick and choose, I think, when you go, whether you're going to see a lot of meat or not. I think the most shocking time was a few weeks back when everybody across the whole country started getting news of what things were going to be like. They did that rush to panic buy everything. Not so much now. They're kind of steady right now, steady as she goes. But when that first panic buy, it was rough, because we went in the stores, there wasn't pasta, there wasn't rice, there wasn't anything. And now, they're filling it in a little bit. That was something. Even my oldest son even said, hey, they even have rice in third world countries, so what's going on, so that was kind of shocking. Okay, question 3. Have you been ordering more things from online sources? Yes and no, and let me tell you what I mean. Most of the time we order online. We love ordering things online. That's just how we shop. Even during the holidays, that's how we do our shopping. If we have school shopping, we order online. We're not one to, we don't really go into stores that much anymore unless we really have to. I don't think that any of us that we're shoppers. We just don't like to shop. And I mean, I like deals, but I'm going to know those deals before I leave the house. One thing that we have had to order, I actually did it yesterday. And I know in these times I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to say it. I had to order a new pool, a frame, because even though my husband really worked hard at getting this one clean this year, we noticed under one of the sides it was rusted all the way through. Well, when your whole frame, moves back and forth, if you're in it, that whole thing's going to cave in, and the water's just going to come flying out, and so we had to reorder that. I mean, it lasted for about 5 years. We were hoping it was going to last longer. It's just one of those things that had to be replaced, Okay. Number 4, do you enjoy eating more meals at home versus eating out? We only get takeout a couple times a year, and we don't eat out. We just don't eat out. We just don't. We don't go anywhere and eat out in a restaurant. And we'll get Chinese food once or twice a year. Maybe at a pork barbecue place we'll pick up. Other than that, we cook all our meals at home. And number 5, are you cooking more meals from recipes, or are you eating more frozen meals? I cook everything from scratch. We will not eat frozen stuff. I'm not saying we're above that. If we have to one day, we will. If it turns out where those are cheaper one day, and that's what we got to resort to, or that's what we have available to us, yeah, we have to do what we have to do. But right now, I cook every single thing from scratch. Everything. Cookies, cakes, breads. I mean, we just do from scratch. That's how we do in our house. Okay. Number 6. After this is over, will you stock up items more in case it happens again? Yes and no, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Yes, I would like to, and yes, I'll try to, and I'll want to, but do we always have the funds or the space to do it? Not necessarily. But I think that it is important to have, staples on hand, for sure, because then you can put things together if you just have the bare minimum, you know what I mean? I mean, you even at the Dollar Tree, you can get a great big sack of beans, you have to, you're not going to stock up on expensive stuff, but to do what we can, absolutely. Okay. And number 7, how has this crisis affected you and your family? Me, it's just, taking precautions, using the disinfectants, and wearing the mask and the gloves when I go out. And for my husband, he has to wear a mask when he's in, at work. He is an essential worker. And my middle son is an essential worker. They have to go to work. Now my middle son is outside, so he's good as long as he makes sure people stay away from him. He's pretty good. Okay. My youngest, I don't really let him go in anywhere. I don't really let him leave home. It's just the way it is right now. Okay, number 8. Do you go to the store to get your groceries, or do you use pickup or have them delivered? Okay, I did use Walmart pickup a couple times, but I found out that they don't really have a lot of, if they don't have a lot of stuff on hand, they have to substitute. And the last time they substituted so many things, it just wasn't worth doing it. And I know you can put on there, do not substitute. You can check off that box, no substitution box, but then you end up with nothing. So then you have to do your shopping all over again. So they substituted so many things last, and it's not their fault, I understand. They substituted so many things last time. It was horrible. I mean, and I know we cannot afford to be fussy right now, but the pizzas, like, we only like thin. And they gave us these great big fat, I call them couch cushions. Those big puffy ryes, like DiGiorno or something. Ugh. I mean, you're so full on just one crust. You can't even enjoy your pizza. It's just, we just don't do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm being fussy. Number 9. If you go to the store, are you concerned when people get too close to you? Absolutely. And one time I was in Food Lion, and we have Army and Air Force here, and I'm listening to sirens. I'm sorry. Anyway, there's an Army guy was approaching me when I was in the lunch meat section. I mean, he was coming right for me. And so I moved to get out of the way, and I ended up knocking over these Easter treats, and I had to pick them all up. And the manager in the meat section saw what happened, and he felt bad, and he came to help me, but I don't know what that was about. I really don't. Because you think that the military is actually used to social distancing, so you think he would know better. That was really weird. Okay, number 10. Do the people who live in your area take this crisis seriously, or do they act like it's business as usual? I've seen places where they do pretty good with markers on the floors and that. And then I've seen other places where they come out together in a group, all laughing and stuff together, like they're not distancing at all. And I'm like, hello? Do they know what's going on here? Why are they laughing in each other's faces like that? I don't get it. But if it seems like if like let's say you go to a store, if that manager puts signs up, puts people with the fluorescent vests on, and they put markings down, they set the tone for how you should act. And it gets to be pretty formal and gets to be where you know, okay, I have to do this. This is my reminder. Do this, remember this, be safe. You know, put up fluorescent stuff. That shows safety. It reminds you to be safe. If you don't do any of that, you're likely to run into people that act like it's not serious. And I think that's it for this take. And those are all things that we all have to think about, and that shows we are all in the same boat. And we may have different answers, but that we are all in this together, even though we're all far apart. Okay, and that was my German Shepherd. Listen to her whining. That's because my youngest son is outside, and she knows it, and she's inside, and she's upset, and she's whining. I'll take her out in a minute. Okay, this other tag is a little bit more fun. It's a get to know me tag from Life with Mike. And the first question, number 1, is, what is your name and who named you? My youngest is coming in right now. Well, you know, I call my channel, I call myself YC. And my family doesn't, and my relatives don't, and my friends don't. And there's a reason I did that, because I really didn't want anyone to know my name on my channel or anywhere else. But I will say it here one time, and then that's it, and you'll never ever hear me say it ever again. So pay attention. So my name is Yvonne Catherine, and that's a good old-fashioned Catholic name. It's a French Catholic name because I'm from Canada, and that's it. That's all you. And I actually was named after, my first name was my mom had a friend who was named Yvonne, and she said, will you name your baby Yvonne? And she did. But nope, that's it. Okay, number 2. How many siblings do you have? Well, I have an oldest sister, and I have 2 older sisters, and I have an older brother. I'm the baby. So anyway, I have 2 sisters and a brother. Okay, and now he's coming in the front door. He doesn't want to be seen on camera. Okay, so number 3. Were you close with your cousins growing up? We were not close in distance. We were spread, you know, all over the province of Ontario. But we were close when we were together. We would take fishing trips every year, and we were always close on those fishing trips. We really enjoyed each other's company. We had a great time. We had a ball. And I miss them right now. And of course now we're all older, we have our own families and married and have kids, and we're spread all over, and they're all in Canada. But I'm telling you, if we ever had to get together again, we would pick up right where we left off. Really, you know, close in that way. Okay, number 4. Do you have, or did you have, a special bond with your grandparents? Yes. Um, Now, both my grandfathers passed away when I was young, very young. But I do remember a lot of things about them and their ways and their laughs and their smiles and the things that they were known for and the things that they did. So I knew a lot about it and really got along great. Just they passed away when I was, actually they were young too, in my opinion. But my grandmother's, Meme, I call them Meme and Pepe because, we're French, very, very close. Always visiting, and there was a special bond with my father's mom. She would read tea leaves and everything for us, and she always did things that were pretty cool for a young kid to see, And I loved her laugh. She laughed at everything. She just was a very, very happy person, and I think that's great. Okay. Did you enjoy high school? Yeah, it was okay. I went to high school in Canada and in South Carolina. And I went to a couple different high schools in South Carolina. I think that in South Carolina I was mostly friends with military kids because they were from somewhere else and I was from somewhere else. So it was easy for us to bond because we were from somewhere else. Okay. And number 6, what are your hobbies? Well, when I had the time when I was younger, I used to paint, do a lot of paintings. And I do have a video with some of my paintings. But the other thing that I like to do now that people may not know is quilt. I like to quilt. I'm not real good at it. I'm still a beginner. My mom is really, really good at it. But I have an interest in it, and I want to learn more about it, and I want to keep doing it. So I would say that my hobby is quilting, and of course, I bake, but you already know that. Okay, question number 7. What do you do to relieve stress when stressed? This question makes me laugh because I think we eat. We eat and eat and eat. No, you're supposed to go for a walk or walk the dog or something, aren't you? We eat chocolate, whatever we can get our hands on. Okay, who is the longest friend you have? Well, the longest living friend I have, her name is Kim, and she's still her and her family are in Canada, and I've known her since before kindergarten. Little girls, we used to play together and stayed friends our whole entire lives, and she even came down south to my wedding and everything. And she got married and had 3 girls, and when I got married I had 3 boys. So and I had another very, very close friend, but she passed away very, very young. At the age of 20 she passed away from cancer. Okay. What is your favorite movie? Oh, I have a lot, but one that comes to mind that's really great is Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood. That's a really good movie. There are a lot of movies have like guns and stuff like that in it, but they get in this fight where the guy with the stick. If you've not seen Pale Rider, look it up. It's a great movie. Okay, number 10. What is your favorite book? Well, I have a favorite author, Robert Fulghum, and you may have heard of him before. But I think my favorite book is about the River Jordan, because it's, to me, it's the most amazing river in the world, and that's my favorite book. I mean, parts of it that have salt water, parts of it have fresh water. It's the longest. It goes from the highest point on earth to the lowest point on earth. And there's just so many fascinating things about the River Jordan. Okay, and that's why I would say that's my favorite book. Okay, number 11, favorite thing to do on a stormy day. Probably just sit quietly, because I love the sound of it, and I love the sound of rain. And when there's not a lot of other things going on, you can think and you can sense things. And I like to do that. I like to pick up on, what's going on. Maybe even what's going on the other side. Some people don't believe in that, but I have seen enough and know enough where I do believe in that. Okay. Number 12. Favorite thing to do when the weather is perfect. I don't really know. It depends on what kind of weather you like. I mean, I love snow, but if it was sunny weather, I like going in the pool and things like that. I don't know. Getting out in it, obviously. Also, let's see, number 13. Do you prefer a big city or small town? I'm not really big on a small town. Because it seems like everybody knows everybody's business, I love a big city because there's so many, a variety of places that you can go. I'm from a big city too. I just love it. I like variety, and variety is the spice of life. And I don't know, I just love a big city. I don't think I'd ever pick a small town. Would I pick out in the country? Yeah. Would I pick way, way up north, secluded by myself, in a log cabin, in a rocking chair in front of a fireplace with a hot cup of cocoa and a husky sitting beside me? Yep, I sure would pick that. But small town? No. Okay, question 14. What is the first thing you want to do when this virus is over? Probably socialize, talk with people. The stores that I go to, everybody knows me. And I like to know my clerks and my butchers and my pharmacists and people like that. And we used to really like to talk. Just really enjoy being around people. Like when you go into Aldi, you want to help the elderly. You want to talk with them and say something nice and brighten their day and help them. And right now, you can't. You just have to keep your distance. And there's times when I'm out where I really want to go help someone, but I can't. I can't go frighten them and go up to them. So I would say, be more helpful and to say, well, how are you doing today? Or how have you been? How are things going? I want to say that to people, but you really can't do that right now. So I would say that's the first thing I'd want to do when this is all over with, when I do go out and get things in the world, to actually be civilized and speak to people. That would be wonderful. So I thank Life with Mike for tagging me on these tags. It's taken me a while to get around to doing these, but I'm glad that I did. And I hope you enjoyed them. And I hope you have a really good day.